May I help the officer down from his most magnificent mount? It would appear that you've come a long way today.
We left my father's farm long before dawn this morning. We had hoped to make Paris before dark.
I would suggest that you spend the night here at the inn. The roads to Paris are none too safe at night.
I'm not worried about thieves or highwaymen. My father has instructed me carefully in the use of the sword. In fact, this is the blade which he himself used when he was a soldier of France.
So, methinks we may have a young recruit here for our ranks, men. Perhaps beneath this Don Quixote exterior, there beats the heart of a true fighting man.
I carry a letter from my father to Monsieur André de Treville, commander of His Majesty's Musketeers in Paris.
The Musketeers, indeed. Those popinjays.
That corps of clowns.
Surely you don't think these playboy musketeers are fighting men, young fellow?
On my oath, sir, you speak ill of a company of fearless soldiers. Now let me pass. I would sooner brave the dangers of the night ride to Paris than spend it here with the likes of you.
Ah, the young Don Quixote has a temper, too?
My name is Charles de D'Artagnan. I am a citizen of the province of Gascon. Now stand aside and allow me and my horse to pass through the gate.
You called this a horse?
Have you ever seen a more formidable soldier's helmet in your life?
And here's armor fit for a musketeer.
Give it back. That was a gift from my mother.
I would say it was a mother's gift for a mother's boy. Agreed, my friends?
I think we should tie him to that mangy mount and point them both back towards home.
I would hate to think what might happen to him alone in Paris.
Or as a member of those toy swordsmen, the King's Musketeers.
You have insulted the Musketeers one too many times. Now draw your sword, or I'll run you through where you stand, sir.
So, our young country bumpkin has a temper, as well as a sword. Perhaps a little lesson is in order.
Touché, Sergeant! And now, a button on the left side, please.
Since you obviously don't follow any of the rules of a fair fight, sir, then defend yourself.
Your father has taught you well, but stop before you force me to harm you.
Not without an apology for your insulting remarks about the Musketeers.
I'll see you dead before I'll apologize.
Then you leave me no choice.
Hold to, young man. Enough is enough.
Not quite, Sergeant. I want that apology. And now.
Pierre, Jean, Michel, get this idiot away from me.
Stand back.
I would say that at this moment, you need the services of several of the King's Musketeers, my friend.
Then I am at his service.
And I, too.
Let's make it 3.
You are all most welcome.
Popinjays, you say?
A corps of clowns?
The king's toy swordsman? I believe you also made some remark about the playboys of the king.
Oh, no, sir. It was protectors of the king, I said. The Musketeers are known throughout all France.
Where?
Throughout all the world as protectors of the king. I'm sorry if I offended you.
Let him go, please, sir. His apology satisfies me.
Who might you be, boy?
I am Charles de D'Artagnan, on my way to Paris to join the King's Musketeers.
Then you'll be traveling in the right company. Permit us to introduce ourselves. I am Athos.
Porthos.
And Aramis. All for one, and one for all.
Relax, D'Artagnan. All will go well.
I'm certain we'll have little difficulty convincing Monsieur de Treville of your possibilities.
Particularly after the fine exhibition of swordsmanship you displayed at the inn.
What a pity it wasn't a company of the Cardinal's guards, rather than a motley bunch of mercenaries.
Porthos, that's not the proper kind of thought for the young lad.
I know that I shall always be indebted to you for your help.
Come along.
So, you would like to be a musketeer?
There is nothing else in the world I want more.
Being a musketeer is not all a life of gay court balls and turning the eye of every young lady in Paris. With the possible exception of Porthos.
I'll work hard, I promise you. I'll pledge my devotion to my king, to my country, and I will defend that pledge if it costs me life itself.
Well, what say you men?
We'd be happy to take this young rooster under our wing.
The boy has a lot of spunk for his age, and the temper to go with it.
But we'll iron out the rough spots.
In that case, young D'Artagnan, I am delighted to welcome you as...
Oh, a musketeer! Oh, gentlemen, I know that I'm young, but I will learn. You will never regret having helped me to become a musketeer?
No, young D'Artagnan. To become a member of the Corps of Musketeers is an honor which must be earned. An honor that can only be bestowed by either King Louis or Queen Anne.
But, good sir, if I'm not a musketeer, then what am I?
Come, my young friend. We have much to teach you on the art of becoming a musketeer.
Athos! Porthos! Aramis, it's been ages since I've seen you.
Constance, how is the Queen's favorite handmaiden?
Not to mention the prettiest young lady in all of Paris.
And may we have the pleasure of introducing to you our young protégé, Monsieur Charles de Batz d'Artagnan.
And a laundry tub of His Majesty's Musketeers.
Monsieur D'Artagnan?
Mademoiselle?
Oh, I'm afraid your protégé may catch his death in those wet clothes. Here, maybe my woolen cape will help stave off the sniffles.
Come, sit, all of you. I'll have our good host inside mix up something suitably medicinal for young D'Artagnan.
That'll be a witch's brew, I'll warrant.
Perhaps it would be better if D'Artagnan were to excuse himself and go change his clothes.
Oh, no. No, I'm fine. Comfortably warm, thanks to Mademoiselle Constance's beautiful woolen cape. I am most grateful.
Methinks you have a new champion, Constance. I'm sure this young lad would challenge anyone who would dare speak a harsh word to you.
Oh, tut, good Porthos. Perhaps you've forgotten there's a new law against dueling which is rigidly enforced by the guards of Cardinal Richelieu.
Dueling is forbidden? Then how else can a man defend the honor of a young lady?
Perhaps by carrying his complaint directly to the Cardinal.
The Cardinal? Are you saying he has more power than His Majesty the King?
That, unfortunately, is the case, young D'Artagnan. Their Majesties have great demands on their time.
And so Cardinal Richelieu deals with affairs of state.
Despite his peaceful appearance, Cardinal Richelieu is a hard and ruthless man who would like to rule France.
Such sentiments could be called treason, good Athos.
Enough, then. Let's get on to more pleasant subjects, like all the latest scandalous happenings in the palace.
The palace?
Don't be shocked, my young friend. Constance is very close to the Queen, the only handmaiden with the Queen's permission to live outside the palace.
She trusts me, which is why I don't particularly enjoy hearing she is only a puppet while Cardinal Richelieu pulls the strings.
Forgive our audacity. We know the Queen wants only what is best for France.
But she is surrounded by spies. Even in her own chamber, there are ears that listen and report to the Cardinal.
But if she told the King...
It is the same there. He too cannot say a word which is not carried directly to Richelieu. He has spies everywhere. He knows everything that happens.
And I come carrying a certified cure-all for aches or any alien fever which might be lying in wait for our young friend. Now, drink it down, lad.
Quickly! Quickly, Adams! Hit him on the back! Can't you see he's choking on your vile concoction? Better?
I asked you to get me information on the relationship between the Queen and the English Duke of Buckingham.
I have made discreet inquiries, Your Eminence. And when the Queen rode to the hunt this morning, I took the opportunity of searching through her desk.
And found nothing.
And found nothing, Your Grace.
I know they've been corresponding. I must find something written in her hand to Buckingham to make the King believe she is in collusion with England. And discredit her totally. There must be someone in the Queen's entourage with that information. One of her handmaidens, a friend, close to the Queen.
I have done what I can, Your Grace. I'm not privy to the Queen's chambers on many occasions.
You're a fool. Get out, and don't return. Unless you find evidence of any communication between the Queen and Buckingham. I'm surrounded by incompetent fools. With one exception, of course. You heard what he said, my dear Countess?
As you said, the man is an incompetent fool. Perhaps this is a task for someone with more insight into the ways of a man, such as the Duke of Buckingham.
Someone, perhaps, with the persuasive talents for which the glamorous Countess de Winter is so well known?
The Duke has visited my estate on several occasions. He finds the hunting most satisfactory. I will plan a weekend of his favorite sport. And since my castle is so close to Paris...
He will try to contact the Queen. Excellent. Excellent.
Your Eminence made a suggestion to the footman, which he might do well to follow.
I beg your pardon?
The Queen's favorite handmaiden undoubtedly knows some secrets the Queen shares with no one else.
Yes, you could be right.
And a little persuasion. Something I'm sure your Grace could arrange.
With ease, my dear.
Adieu, Cardinal Richelieu.
Adieu, my dear Countess de Winter. Yes, I must ask the Queen if it would not be safer for her handmaiden to be escorted to her home by 2 members of my guard. It is extremely dangerous for a young girl to walk the streets of Paris alone by night.
My lodging is just up the block, near the cafe on the corner. I'm sure if you'd like to turn back...
Our orders were to make sure you were safely tucked away for the night, miss. And we always follow our orders.
Especially when our orders were delivered to us personally by His Eminence, Cardinal Richelieu.
Cardinal Richelieu? But the Queen didn't tell me that... Oh! Oh!
No, press your advantage over Aramis. Can't you see that he is weakening? Pretending to weaken, you oaf. Your arm is longer than Porthos' arm, young D'Artagnan. Try to slip over his guard and plunge home.
Here, we'll have no such instructions as that, good Aramis. I enjoy being a musketeer.
Have no fear, my friend. Perhaps just a button or 2 from your jacket.
Oh, this happens to be my finest jacket, and I intend to defend its buttons most vigorously. There. And there. And there.
Methinks the young lad has all the accomplishments of a full-fledged musketeer. What say you, good Athos?
I would say that if anyone should chance across this scene, they would believe an actual duel was being fought.
With the new law against dueling, only the King's Musketeers would be foolish enough to break that law in a place as public as the park.
It'll do him good if we arrest him.
We'll ride in at full gallop. This will be fine sport.
Press forward, D'Artagnan. Remember what you have been taught about always taking the advantage. Press forward.
Halt! Put down your sword immediately, by order of the Cardinal's guard.
And what, pray tell, is the Cardinal's Guard doing at the Bois de Boulogne at this early hour of Sunday morning?
I suppose you intend telling me you have no knowledge of the new law against dueling.
We are well aware of the law, Captain.
But you are mistaken, Captain. All we were trying to do was...
All I was trying to do was show this young whippersnapper a few of the finer points of dueling. It appears he's forgotten that you always take the advantage and press forward.
Particularly when you can press forward against a member of the Cardinal's private guard.
We'll see about that, Musketeer.
You'll be sneering on the other side of your face when we finish with you.
Aramis, to arms! Well, D'Artagnan, do you plan on joining us or not? Remember the creed of the Musketeers? All for one,
And one for all. On guard!
We have had a most invigorating exercise period, Monsieur de Treville.
the boy's showing remarkable progress. Absolutely remarkable.
Almost any day now he could be summoned before the king.
That day is here and now. You are all summoned to appear before the king.
The Cardinal tells me that 2 of his guards received rather severe wounds, that this alleged swords player was of a most serious nature.
It was 3 guards we wounded, my liege.
We also relieved the guard of their mounts.
Enough of all this. I am late for the hunt. Musketeers Athos, Porthos, and Aramis, you may arise. And you, whatever your name is.
D'Artagnan, your majesty. Charles de Batz d'Artagnan of the province of Gascon. Ever faithful to his majesty King Louis XIII of France.
Yes, I'm sure of all that. Now get out of here, all of you.
But, your majesty, my guard and their horses
should not have been in the park when they were supposed to have been lined up in front of your home, waiting to escort your eminence to the cathedral.
Adieu, my liege.
If I may delay His Majesty for a moment longer.
I only hope that what you have to tell me is important, Cardinal Richelieu. The entire royal party is waiting for me to lead the hunt.
It concerns the Queen, Your Majesty, and one of her handmaidens, Mademoiselle Constance Bonacieux, who at the moment is safely in my keeping in the Bastille. It has been brought to my attention that within the past few months, an active correspondence has been carried on between your wife, the Queen, and the Duke of Buckingham.
Are you certain there's nothing else I can do to help my sister?
You've done enough. Without you, we would never have known Constance was kidnapped and taken to the Bastille.
We must get to her before the Cardinal's men try torture to discover what she knows.
Now, young D'Artagnan, we have no time to lose.
I am ready.
The prison guards have had their evening meal and their tankard of wine. They'll be in a most genial mood, receptive to any deception.
Here, let me help you into this fascinating disguise. You look so much like my dear departed mother that I could kiss you.
If you dare...
There's no time to waste on foolish banter. You know what you must do.
We've been over the plan 1,000 times.
Then be sure to carry out all the details as quickly as possible. We 3 will supply the outside distraction while you find Constance and get her to safety.
Here, carry this bread under your arm and don't forget to walk and talk like an old woman.
I will not forget for a moment.
Get out of here, old woman. No one is admitted to the prison after sundown.
Oh, my oven is as slow as these old feet of mine, good jailer. Only now have I been able to fetch my son his daily ration of fresh bread. Please, it will take only a moment for me to give it to him.
Regulations are regulations.
Oh, let the old hag in to see her son. Anything's better than listening to her whining voice.
Well, perhaps if you would share that loaf of fresh bread with us.
There is no one in all of Paris who makes a bread as soft, as moist, as delicate, as fine as...
All right. You can take the bread, dear son. But mind you not to tarry. I wouldn't want the sergeant to come by and discover I've let you into the Bastille after eventide.
You have my promise, good jailer.
What now, my men? Would you care to share a bottle of good Rhenish wine with 3 of the king's best musketeers? And when have the musketeers suddenly become so generous with mere jailers, pray tell?
Since we saw you take the bread from that old crone, there is nothing sweeter tasting with a good bottle of wine than the bread for which Paris is so famous.
My tankard, good musketeers. And here, help yourself to my portion of the bread.
Constance? Constance Bonacieux? Where are you?
Can I help you, Grandma?
I've come to see the prisoner.
There you go.
Thank you, my son.
D'Artagnan!
D'Artagnan? What's going on here? Let's have a closer look at you, Grandma. Hey, what the? Ah!
D'Artagnan, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw you.
Quickly, we have very little time. Do exactly as I tell you. I'm wearing 2 sets of clothes. You must wear one of them.
Porthos, I think I hear them coming.
And just in time before our 2 friends get too curious about our identities. We enjoyed sharing bread and wine with you, but we must report back to our quarters.
My son thanks you for allowing us to bring him some supper, good jailer.
It is a miserable feeling to lie in the prison darkness with an empty stomach.
How can there be 2 of you coming out when only one went in?
No. My sister went in with me, good jailer. Surely you remember.
I remember seeing you 2 old crones hobbling up the steps and into the prison.
One old woman or 2, what difference does it make? You there, musketeer. You said something about finishing that bottle of wine.
Of course. If you'll just hand me your tankard.
Come, sister. We must hurry off home and...
D'Artagnan, careful of your skirt!
He would have chose a time like this to fall.
There has been foul play here tonight.
You fetch the head jailer while I take care of this old lady.
I'll show you how much of an old lady I am.
Here you go, lad. Catch!
All right, D'Artagnan. Have done with it. We haven't got all night.
At your request, good Porthos.
Come, let's get out of here.
Time enough for that later, old woman. Right now, we've got to get home before we're spotted by the Cardinal's men. She escaped. She escaped. I should have both of you committed to the lowest dungeon in the Bastille. For life.
If we went to Mademoiselle Boncieur's home again, we could kidnap her again, and this time...
Without arousing the suspicions of the Queen? You must be mad. No, we may have failed here in the Paris, but there is still the Countess de Winter. And if anyone can produce the necessary evidence against the Queen, she can.
Her Majesty the Queen awaits the Duke of Buckingham in Paris. All arrangements have been made.
It was the only idea I could think of to get the Duke safely into the palace to see the Queen.
If Buckingham is masquerading as you, it should work.
Everyone at the palace always sees you and Constance together. They should be able to pass unnoticed.
Once you're inside the door, follow the staircase to the Queen's chambers. She will be waiting for you. And remember, you must make haste.
We are deeply indebted to you. I know the risk you are taking.
I only seek to serve my Queen.
She is well aware of your loyalty, Mademoiselle Constance. And she is... Shh.
What is it?
The Night Guard is coming this way. Can you pretend that I am D'Artagnan?
Hurry, hurry. We've already wasted too much time. I'll be waiting here to be certain you have no trouble when you return from the Queen.
Please enter, sire. And know that the Queen of France waits eagerly for whatever message you bring from King Philip of Spain.
Your Majesty, I am your servant.
We must be brief. Richelieu's men are everywhere. There is no privacy for the Queen of France.
King Philip would commit nothing to writing, but he bids me inform your Majesty that should war break out between France and mid-Europe, you can depend upon the support of Spain.
I couldn't ask for better news. And what of your country, my lord?
England is in accord with Spain. But England grows increasingly aware of the mounting power behind the French throne.
Cardinal Richelieu.
He would rule France.
Why can't the king see the evil in Richelieu? He must be dismissed as Minister of State before he plunges France and all of Europe into a useless, wasteful war.
I only regret that there is nothing further I can do.
The Queen of France is eternally grateful for all that you've already done, my lord. Please accept this as a small token of that gratitude.
Your Majesty, I cannot accept such a gift.
It is little enough reward for acting on my behalf with Spain and England. Until another time, a time of peace, my lord.
Your Majesty.
Something has happened. I know something has happened, or she would have been here by now.
Easy, easy, my boy. Perhaps the Duke of Buckingham's interview with the Queen lasted longer than expected.
You can sit there all night making silly excuses, but I'm going to find Constance.
Let's get our horses. We can't let the lad roam the streets of Paris unattended.
I'd be most grateful to have you with me. She's in that carriage. I saw her face for just a moment.
Constance! We have to stop it before they get to the Bastille.
You are most astute to follow Buckingham to Paris and his rendezvous with the Queen.
Unfortunately, I was not in a position to overhear what they were discussing.
If only we had some concrete proof of their meeting. Some evidence that would shatter the King's faith in the Queen.
I will try to find what you seek when the Duke arrives at the Castle de Winter tomorrow.
Yes, the hour is late. But please do not think I am ungrateful for what you have already accomplished.
Court intrigue has always fascinated me. And it's not without its rewards. Its material rewards.
What sort of material rewards, my lady?
No interest to you, Your Eminence. Merely a box of baubles the Duke of Buckingham had tucked under his arm. Intended, I'm sure, as a gift for his hostess, the Countess de Winter.
A box of baubles? Describe it to me.
Please, my arm. I only saw it for an instant when the Duke was leaving the palace.
Did he have it when he entered the palace?
No. No, he didn't. He wasn't carrying the box when he landed from England.
Aha. And would you say that the box he was carrying when he left the palace was approximately this long? With heavy bindings of brass? Think most carefully, Countess.
Yes. I can see it clearly. It was just such a box.
The diamond studs. 12 diamond studs, which the King gave Her Majesty on their 5th wedding anniversary.
And she has given them to the Duke of Buckingham.
We must make certain that her generous gift works to our advantage and to the extreme disadvantage of Her Majesty. Now listen carefully. Each of us has an important role to play.
Splendid idea, Your Eminence. A festival of jewels, a gigantic costume ball for all of Paris to enjoy. I cannot imagine how you continually think of all these fabulous ideas to benefit myself and the Queen.
Diamond rings upon your fingers. Dazzling, brilliant diamonds.
And the Queen must wear the 12 diamond studs I gave her for our wedding anniversary.
I wish I could have thought of such a magnificent idea, Your Majesty. Now, about the date for the festival.
It must be soon. I know the Queen will be equally excited. I must hasten to tell her of our festival immediately.
Yes, I'm sure she will be delighted, Your Majesty.
The diamond studs. Do you understand? His Majesty insists that I appear at the Festival of Jewels wearing the 12 diamond studs.
But how does this concern any of us, Your Majesty?
If I do not appear at the Festival of Jewels wearing my diamonds, I am certain that Richelieu will convince the King that I am in allegiance with my Lord Buckingham against the better interests of France.
The Duke of Buckingham is spending the weekend at the Castle de Winter.
How can you have such information, young man?
Your handmaiden, Mademoiselle Constance, and our young protégé are in love, Your Majesty.
Porthos, enough.
If there was some way you could contact the Duke at the Castle de Winter and explain the difficult circumstances with which I'm faced...
It shall be done.
How can I ever thank you? But you must hurry. It is less than a week before His Majesty's Festival of Jewels. The fate of France is at stake. I must have those diamonds.
The Musketeers must not reach the Duke of Buckingham. They must be intercepted and captured.
I know every back road and shortcut that exists. Your enemies will not reach the Castle de Winter.
Then ride and bring the culprits back here, where a suitable dungeon will be waiting for them.
Your hostess, the Countess Florette de Winter, and her guest of honor, the Duke of Buckingham.
I have never seen the Countess looking more radiant.
A reflection, no doubt, from all that jewellery she is wearing.
Undoubtedly. But her jewels pale beside those 12 magnificent diamond studs the Duke is wearing on his wrist.
The road through the forest may be shorter, but it is also the perfect place for someone to set a trap for us.
There's no time to think of danger when the future of France is at stake.
We are well aware of what is at stake, young D'Artagnan.
We are also more experienced and therefore more cautious.
Then ride whatever way you cautiously choose. I am taking the road through the forest.
Follow him. We can't let that fool out of our sight, even if there is an ambush waiting for us.
My lord, Everyone in attendance is staring at your magnificent diamond studs. But don't you feel that 12 are a little vulgar? Perhaps if you would allow me the pleasure of purchasing 2 of them.
They were the gift of a most revered friend. It would be a gesture of ingratitude on my part if I were not to keep the set intact.
In that case, my only alternative is to steal them from you.
And I, in turn, will then be forced to wring your lovely little neck, my lady. D'Artagnan, stop for nothing. And remember, the Musketeers ride with you in spirit. One for all, and all for one! If you move, it will be your last move on this earth.
Stay. Hold your sword. I come from the Queen.
If this be a trick...
You must believe me. I have come from the Queen, and time is of the essence.
Then speak. But keep your hands plainly in view and well away from your sword.
If we could only free ourselves. I know that D'Artagnan could use our help.
Tonight, he must really prove himself. My trust is in the lad. He will not fail.
He cannot fail.
Yes, he is here. He is waiting in the hall.
Bring him in. Oh, bring him immediately, child. Young D'Artagnan, how went your mission?
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
One of my servants watched the Duke put the diamond studs back into the box. He was far too weary to notice that 2 of them were missing. I shall bring them to you myself. A most appropriate gift for their Majesties' Festival of Jewels. Ah, I can think of no other gift I would rather receive, my dear Countess de Winter.
Oh, my only regret is that I will not be in Paris tonight. Whoever tied these knots knew what it was about. Wait. I hear something.
Athos? Porthos? Aramis?
Here. We're in here, girl. How did you discover that we were imprisoned here at the inn?
A chance phrase heard by my brother when he was in the cardinal's study. But enough to convince me that this is where I would find you.
And how go our hosts upstairs?
Almost everyone has left for Paris, for the festival. What few remain are disgruntled at being chosen as guards. They've already drunk themselves to sleep.
Here, give me the knife. I could cut the bonds easier. We should have no trouble in surprising our guards.
There is no time to waste. D'Artagnan will need you by his side before this night ends.
Then we must hasten to Paris. Come, you'll ride with me.
Enter, Your Majesty.
The King has sent me to you, to be certain you will be prepared to make a grand entrance with him in precisely an hour.
I have yet to keep my husband waiting, Your Eminence.
He expressed joy that you will wear the 12 diamond studs for tonight's gala festival.
To please my husband, he has always been uppermost in my thoughts.
Of that he is well aware, my lady. It would be an amusing idea, would it not,
What idea would be amusing, Cardinal Richelieu?
Suppose one or two of the diamonds were missing. I think of the rumors that would circulate within the palace.
I find nothing amusing about rumors, Your Eminence. And surely such a rumor could only hurt His Majesty and myself.
I apologize for even suggesting such an ill-advised, amusing idea.
Your apology is accepted, Your Grace. And rest assured, when it is time for the grand entrance, I will be at my husband's side, wearing the gift he gave me.
By your leave, Your Majesty.
D'Artagnan. Oh, D'Artagnan, do not fail me. Oh, but there is so little time. So little time.
Faster, faster, you fool! Don't spare the horses!
It seems to me that a lady riding in such a fine carriage might possibly be carrying something of value with her.
We have our orders, mademoiselle. No one is to see the Queen until it is time for her entrance at the festival.
Don't be an idiot. I'm the Queen's handmaiden.
Our orders were no one is to be admitted, and that means no one.
Perhaps we might be able to persuade you to change your orders, my friend.
Halt!
It's about time you got here. Do we have to do everything?
If the Queen is ready to join His Majesty the King, the hallway to the grand ballroom has been cleared of all the debris.
I'm only sorry that I was not able to deliver the gift, my liege.
Have no fear. Thanks to the highwayman, the Queen will still be forced to make her entrance with 2 of the diamond stars gone.
And when the king asks her about those missing gems...
Precisely.
Ladies and gentlemen, Their Majesties King Louis XIII and Queen Anne of France.
I asked Constance to bring you here so that I could thank you for the valiant effort you made on my behalf.
We were proud to be of service to our Queen.
Constance Bonancieux, from this day forward, you are relieved of your duties as my handmaiden.
No, no, please, Your Majesty.
In order that you may marry this fine young man. And as your queen, I shall settle a handsome dowry upon you, which will keep you both in comfort all the days of your life.
There's as pretty a reward as anyone would want, eh, D'Artagnan?
Yes. Yes. We are both more than grateful, Your Majesty.
And you'll have not 1, but 3 best men at your wedding, my lad.
How can I ever thank you, my lady?
Yes. We are both more than grateful.
I haven't finished yet, young D'Artagnan. Come, stand before me, for I know what it is that will fill your heart with pride, just as this young lady has filled it with love. As Queen of France, it is my privilege to confer upon Charles de Bart's D'Artagnan the rank of Junior Lieutenant in the Corps of Musketeers.
Well, some of us prefer being an officer.
And some of us don't.
And we won't have the responsibilities of young D'Artagnan, now that he's both a musketeer and a husband.
Life suddenly seems so quiet and dull without him. He had such a wonderful knack of getting us all into trouble.
Help! Help me! Oh, please, someone help me!
One for all, and all for one!